Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we are discussing The Weekend. It's the film from Daniel Oriahi, starring Uzoamaka Power, Bucci Franklin, Gloria Anozie-Young, Keppy Ekpeyong Bassey, Meg Otanwa, Richard Butus, Brian Okoye, and a few others. Now this film is something. It's a horror thriller, yeah. And they had a theatrical run in 2024, dominated festivals around the world that same year, and is only now coming to streaming on Kava. And so, yes, a wider audience around the world can now watch it. And long story short, I think you should. Now, because this film is available to stream, this review will contain spoilers. So if you've not seen the film, go see it, then return. And if you, like me, have seen it or you don't care for spoilers, let's get into the video because there's a lot of things to talk about. Now, this film is set in a fictional world. You will hear a lot of fictional names of towns and of people. And I think it's a good thing because its subject matter is one that if you had ascribed it to a particular tribe or something that exists in Nigeria of today, I think that would have just caused unnecessary division. So, first off, I think it's a smart move on the part of the filmmakers. The bulk of this film is set in a village called Kwasa, and it's a peculiar village. A lot of their customs and traditions are a bit on the side of, what is going on here? And you get to know the main thing that sets them apart when we get to the beat of this film. This lady, Nikia, played by Uzoamaka Power, is the one caught at the center of it all. She's in love with this guy. Luke is played by Bucci Franklin. The two of them are amazing in their roles. So, Nikia, when the film starts, discovers she's pregnant, but for some reason doesn't want to tell her guy. We get the sense that she's been troubling for a while, that she wants to meet his family. We also learn that Luke has not seen his family in 15 years when he receives a call from his mother, pestering him to come home for their wedding anniversary. So it's just bad timing when you look at it after the movie is done on Luke's part and on his fiance's part, because eventually he caves in and okay, you know what? Let's go see them this weekend since they're already calling me to come home for the anniversary. And thus the long journey towards Kwasa starts. And these two, well, let's just say that once they get in, you just feel the tension between Luke and his parents. His dad in particular. Eventually we learn that his dad was never in support of his decisions in life to steer far away from the family's traditions. Traditions that I will soon talk about very, very soon. So yes, I'm building tension like the film does. Please indulge me. Luke's fiancé, on the other hand, is very much in love with his parents, and they seem to dote on her as well. Luke's sister Kama, played by Meg Otanwa, also comes in not too long after, followed by her very ludicrous boyfriend, who has to be one of the most misogynistic characters I have seen in fiction in a long time. Zaido is his name, played by James Gardiner. Zaido is crazy. Man of substance, he calls himself Italy, and he speaks of himself in the third person a lot. So it's something you get to see over and over again. And I thought that was hilarious as much as it was silly, in the many times where he would be talking trash of his lover in front of her parents, in front of her brother, in front of her brother's fiance. It was and then at first you're like, why is Kama stomaching all this nonsense? Why is her parents turning a blind eye to the fact that this guy literally beats Kama? Eventually, we find out why, because this family is a family of cannibals. And that was the big reveal. And I liked it, even as much as I could tell from a while before the review was actually done, from the fact that the son, Luke, is a vegetarian. That sort of gave it away to an extent. Then there was also the reveal of those two vigilante guys that they met on the road while look at his girlfriend and his fiance. I'm not like his girlfriend and fiance intermittently here, but she actually is his fiance. They are set to be married. They met two vigilantes on their way to the family home, who said a lot of things, including having to kill them like it was nothing and take their cars, So that also led credence to it. So I don't know. The handwriting on the wall sort of just made me early enough start figuring out this family, I think their king is eating human flesh, and yeah, that's what it turned out to be. So, Zaido was on the family's menu. They use human flesh, human meat to celebrate New Year festival. Very weird stuff. And not just that the rest of the town also gets to do this very crazy ritual where they kidnap ill-fated foreigners who find themselves in the community. In fact, Luke has been away from his home for too long that he did not even know where to step his feet on. So he was kidnapped at the point. But then there's this birthmark, family crest, that is inscribed on all members of the family that gives them right of passage and all. And so once this chief priestess saw the mark on Luke, setting free. So it's a very, very weird town. It's one of those towns that you don't want to ever find yourself by accident or by whatever. That thing that your parents tell you those days, like you're calling a friend to go somewhere, ask well, I think it's because of places like this. I, I, I don't know. There might be somewhere existing that has this kind of very, very dark practices. And yeah, please shine your eyes. For the most part, the weekend was exciting to watch. Its use of tension was really good. The way the story was written, and like I said, even though I knew that the revelation that it was cannibals and cannibalism that we're dealing with, even though I sort of knew when it was revealed, I still enjoyed the revelation. I thought that the writing of this film was a good one for the most part. Of course, there were lapses in some places here and there, but for the most part, the writing and the direction, and then the actors' interpretation of their characters was for the most part, yes. I enjoyed it. I thought Bucci Franklin and Uzoamaka Power, of course, these two are powerhouses in almost any role they play. But here as well, they work. They are grounded when they need to be grounded. They are heightened in the few times they need to be heightened, and it works. And for the most part, when the emotional beats are triggered, they deliver more often than not. Gloria Anozie-Young and Keppy Ekpeyong Bassey were amazing as well. Meg Otanwa delivered. James Gardiner, with that his crazy afro, was really something to hate. And so for the most part, I really, really enjoyed watching it. Yes, I thought it was a good film. I thought it was a good film. It delivered on the horror, on the build up to the horror. Most times we say this a lot, that the best horrors are usually the ones that have build up. And I think gone are the days where we just get into horror and, slashing for the sake of it. And though, while this film also ends in a bloodbath, like you'd expect from most typical horrors, I think it is earned. Yes, it is earned in the sense that it plays up like a drama in a way it builds up to that bloodbath. And then at that point, you're now wondering, was it worth it? Nikia, Uzoamaka's character, who at the start was naive to the happenings of that village that she was so eager to want to go visit, and then her lover, who for some reason did not tell her what was the main reason why he's been away from there for so long, because he's different from the others, and how things played out to the point where they ended up in that mass death, scene. And so whether it was worth it, so things like that just get you really in your feelings, and I thought that the film did a good job building up to the end. Yes, I thought it did a good job. And the end, I was okay with the ending, actually. I thought it was a good one that mirrored the opening very well. I enjoyed it for the most part, and I think you would too. So if you want to see The Weekend, you've been hearing so much about it. Like I said, it's streaming on Kava. So indulge yourself and then let me know what you think in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.